like okay, it came from two places while I was writing it. First was, okay, it was that TikTok, you know that TikTok trend where they're like, oh, if you want to have a conversation with your younger self, what will you tell your younger self? And I think, like, seeing everybody, like, I watched everybody's, I don't have TikTok making ability, so I didn't make one. But I think just seeing, like, what everyone had to say to your younger self. And I think somewhere like 2 months ago, I had like a phase where I would get really emotional when I look at my own childhood photos. Like my friends had to bear the brunt of it. So I think I was just looking at like a photo of myself when I was younger, and I was like, if I could like ask like her or like tell her anything, or like what would she ask me about like the person I'd become, and like thinking about, I think I was thinking a lot about like what 17 means to me now and like how I'm living life right now. And like, would whatever the life I'm living now live up to her expectations, and what would she question me about? And I think that's where a lot of it came from. Yeah, and the day of shooting, oh my god. Okay, so first and foremost, our lovely set designer kid got COVID. The day before filming, so we were set to film on Saturday, and then he tested positive on Friday, and then things only got worse from there. So we at 6 p.m. right? We realized that we didn't have enough wallpaper for our walls, which were purple, and then we didn't have enough flooring, so it was supposed to be wood because we didn't have enough to cover. And then we realized our original like color scheme was yellow and blue, and then we realized the yellow didn't look good on the purple wall, so we changed our color. And then after that, we didn't have a lot of the props because of like some miscommunication, because that was also like during peak exam period. So we like kind of reimagined the set to be like a more liminal space, dreamlike kind of thing. And what else went wrong? Oh, the morning, this is somehow the least of our problems, but the morning of $40 worth of Subway got stolen by our Grab driver. So like my mom ordered all of us breakfast, and then the driver just drove away with the Subway. Yeah, it's okay, she got refunded. So yeah, what else went wrong? I think I might be missing stuff.
I think compared to the other groups, we only had like 1 day of filming because our whole entire set was it was made on the spot. It was not like a real location. It's like walls from the theatre studio, and it's like carpet all over the floor. So we only had one shot to get the whole film down. No refilming, no reshoots, nothing. And we had very limited time. It was like, what? Yeah, and we got kicked out early of the space, so we were really rushing. And I remember we were just like reviewing the clips. Do we need to refilm this? Do we need to refilm that? We were just in such a rush. So I'm so happy that,
I think we were only able to do this in 1 day because of our fantastic actors.
Thank you so much to our profession. Okay, we'll move on to the next question.
It was a very specific arrangement of like mise en scène. So I just want to know what you felt it contributed to the story, and also how you came up with it.
So I feel like we wanted to create a space that was sort of like littered with memories. So we had a lot of like posters, for example, of like a lot of pop culture and even some like Malay films as well. So we wanted to put in that sort of cultural context element as well, even though it's like a liminal space, to create like the sense of memories and nostalgia, I guess.
Also, the baby photos in the background are actual like baby photos and like memories that we got from the actors. So I think because it unfolded in his head, I think I was really like, I really appreciated the baby photos as a personal touch.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we only have time for one.
Well done to each and every one of you. What I would like to know is what is the biggest takeaway? And this question is addressed to all the groups. Because I think the responsibility is not something that a 17-year-old, will be able to bear. The decision making, the planning, the logistics and whatnot. And I think your teacher would agree with me that even as an adult, it is not something that we take it lightly, and for you to within limited time, and you are able to produce such a quality work. So what is the biggest takeaway for all of you? Thank you.
I think for us it would have been like pre-planning or like time management, especially because most of the things that we filmed, like the Chinatown scene, was really dependent on it being at night. Especially because in the beginning we filmed like a lot of things in the day, and we were just seeing the hours go down, and the night become still bright. So we were just waiting for the darkness to come. I think, yeah, time management, right?
And I think also like pre-planning is really important for like everything, because our film, we didn't really film it in order. In fact, it was kind of, we filmed it kind of like on 2 different days, and then also like in 2 different, like many multiple locations. So knowing what props we need and knowing what shots we want, or like even what kind of editing techniques that we want to include in the film is really important. And I think the biggest takeaway is that like before like we embark on any film, I think the most important thing is just knowing what you want to do and what you want to achieve.
Okay, for us, I think the biggest takeaway is being able to work cohesively and effectively. Because a lot of times during group work, many things are like very unpredictable. Like, for example, you may not know when your member may not be able to show up. And it's also very hard to like just plan everything out and really fit our schedules together. So I think like keeping an open mind and like really respecting each other's opinions. And so, yeah, just having fun while like doing good work. Yeah, that was the biggest takeaway.
I think one of the biggest takeaways maybe would be attention to detail for us, because I think a lot of our like where we place value in like ideating for the film was a lot of details that in the whole film were cohesive. So whether it's like the set design, so like all of like the small little details, the little details that our sign designer like ideated and came up with, like the ringing and then when it stops, so like it's kind of something you don't really realize when you're watching it, but it adds a lot of impact. And then like what's in the frame when you're talking of when you're doing it, and then when you're shooting, and then attention to detail in editing. I don't know how Aiden doesn't hate me. I made him do a lot. If you search Final Cut on his computer, there are 27 files. Yeah, and then also actor work. I think that was a very valuable like lesson for me, especially because like we can learn a lot of these things like in textbook and stuff, but certain things like working with your actors or like working around problems on set, like the possession set, those are stuff you can really only learn on the job.
Yes, that is all the time we have for the Q&A today. Thank you all for the questions. Sorry.